Good morning, Singapore. Good morning, world. Welcome to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. It is a Tuesday, which means we have with us the lovely Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room. Good morning, Jerry.
Morning!
Good
and I
morning.
have my wash and wear hair.
Yeah. New hairstyle. I've said new hairstyle for Jerry, new hairstyle for Angel, new hairstyle for FD.
And if you're wondering what Glenn's talking about, all you have to do is go onto Facebook and watch us on
Yeah,
The
please,
Big Show TV and 1FM 913.
Let's also not forget that Glenn did his hair as well.
Yes, I know. So he's trying to
To fish that
give
out of
himself
us,
attention.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, that's
But
right.
Jerry brought it up first. See, that's why. She didn't bring it up. I wouldn't have brought it up as well. Hey, at this point, can we, make someone's day right now before we start talking about stress and suicide?
Sure.
Let's. Can we wish my cousin a happy birthday?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, we're the same age, 51 this year.
Okay,
Oh,
and who's your
wow.
cousin?
Okay.
Genevieve Montero. Good morning, Jen. Good morning, cousin.
Are we ready to sing the birthday song?
Yes, I think so. Shall we?
Ready? Go.
1, 2, 3. Happy
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday to you.
Happy birthday,
birthday,
dearest cousin. Happy birthday to you, and many more.
And we apologize for the
Horrible singing.
out of tune happy birthday song, but have a
The
great
harmonies
birthday.
are terrible.
That was not out of
Horrible.
tune. That was perfect.
That was
It was awful.
That was absolutely perfect. And I want to wish everyone who's celebrating their birthdays today, okay? Everyone. To the thousands and thousands of people who are tuned in right now celebrating their birthdays, have the happiest birthday ever. Okay?
Okay.
All
Now
right.
that we got the happy out of the way, let's move on to the stress and suicide part 2.
I
Well,
was at the tough part. And I'm so glad that Glenn started with that happy note because my morning started with a very dreary note.
Oh no, what
dear.
happened?
Yeah, so just before I came on, I was on a call with a mom crying and saying, please save my daughter.
Oh.
You know, yeah. So she is an adult daughter, but the daughter canceled her appointment, but nobody knew why she canceled. And only after that, then mom realized that the daughter is feeling very, very down. And so an appeal to everyone, please keep your appointments. And for family members and friends, if you realize that they are not getting the help that they need, please, please, please call. So I was very appreciative for the call this morning, although it did, leave a very heavy feeling in my heart this morning.
Okay.
So
Wow.
I've got just for today, I've got the candle out. This is the candle that I usually light when I have the mother support group. We usually light a candle for our children, who have passed. So this is a candle. I've lighted it for all those that have passed, and we will continue with our session. Our session today.
Oh.
Cool.
Wow, how tough a morning.
Yeah. Tough morning for
started
you
off
this morning.
with.
Yeah.
Okay,
it
so
is.
let's recap what we spoke about last week, Jerry.
Okay, so last week we spoke about stress, good stress, bad stress, and acute stress, episodic acute stress, chronic stress. And I think FD was quite blown away with the "You are beautiful."
Yeah. Yeah. That one was quite something.
Yes. So we started with that. And I thought I wanted to check in with everyone today. What causes us stress?
I mean, a particular topic that causes us stress that when we
Well,
think about.
To guide us, psychologists always have a lot of surveys, right? So to guide us, the DJs have been sent, all of you have been sent a little survey. What is it?
We didn't take the survey yet.
The Holmes
They just got it.
Ray Life Stress Inventory. So it's an
Okay.
inventory. So it has 43 items. Now it doesn't. It's a survey, so it's not an exhaustive list. It's a non-exhaustive list of
Right.
things, but it's a guide to see how stressed we are depending on the number of life events we are exposed to. So
Oh,
for
right.
those listening in, right? So things like death of a spouse, death of a close friend goes on it. And death of a spouse, they gave it a value from 1 to 100, 100. So if you've lost a spouse, that impact on you is very, very great.
Okay.
Yep. Being fired at work, sexual difficulties. But even like things that we think are positive, right?
Sexual
Marriage.
difficulties would be something like, not getting as much as one used to, like years ago. Or what?
I knew he was going to pick up something.
Something like that, Yeah, he would have to.
Should we discuss this list more exhaustively on the Big Show TV?
Sure, let's go.
What? You mean we're on air right now?
We're on air.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah. I've saved it.
And if you're on the Big Show TV, please look at Glenn. He looks like a scientist.
Lao Huayan, what can I say? Okay, here's Roxanne.
Dr. Jerry, I'm looking at this life event list, and right at the top, at the highest points. So you said death of a spouse is 100, divorce is at 73. My eyes are going as well.
Yep.
73 first time, 60 second time, and then after that, it's okay.
Are we
Marital.
talking about Britney Spears again?
No,
Yes,
we're
of
not.
No, I don't think he is.
Close.
And then marital separation from a mate is 65. But these top three ones all have things to do with partnership and marriages.
Yes. Yeah. So there are different lists. So this
Yeah.
particular author has classified it as right on top. Yeah. So again, I say any survey is just a guide, but this survey has been around for some time. Now you realize that it doesn't cover everything that is more modern. Technology, not having your phone with you doesn't go on there, but I think it's very stressful for some people.
Yeah, boy.
Having the internet down, would be quite catastrophic for many companies and many people if you cannot get your work done.
Yeah, that's 100 for us.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
for sure.
But I find it strange that death of a close family member is way below death of a partner. Because you would think like a parent or a child or anything would be really, really high up, right?
Yeah, so all these surveys depend on the authors
Or
and
who's doing
depend
it.
on the sample size and sample the sample population rather
Okay,
that they
okay.
do it on.
Okay.
When you say
Yeah.
death of a partner, are you talking about death of a spouse?
Yeah.
Angel? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I thought there was another one there. Yeah, so death
No,
of a spouse,
spouse, yeah.
is number
Yeah.
one, and then
Yep.
death of a close family
member,
is it?
Close family
63.
member. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's at 63
I think
points.
that's about right, right? Because
I don't know. I guess it
Well-
depends on an individual how close you are to the spouse and the family member, and it depends, right?
Yeah, I would probably put the two deaths back
Quite
to back
close
and
together,
then move
right? Yeah.
and then move divorce down. Yeah.
But I suppose what is interesting on the list, and I totally agree, is not how it's being rated, but to have the positive and negative life events. So both positive and negative life events both cause stress to us. Yeah, things like marriage,
Pregnancy.
things like pregnancy, things like
Vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Vacation as well.
Yeah, vacation stress, major holiday stress. Yes, there are stresses.
Yep. Changing residences, like moving house, changing to a new school. So I really appreciate that they put it there. Troubles with the boss, that's a negative one. But Adrian can pick it up on Thursday, yeah?
I like this one. In-law troubles. Huh?
Oh, in-law troubles are quite an issue, yeah?
Yeah.
So although we don't speak about it a lot, but many people grouse behind doors.
Yes.
Yes, they do.
actually, I'm just thinking about all this, right? And I'm thinking about my my life and what has stressed me out the most, right? I think most times it's work, Because I'm looking at that list, right, and I'm thinking like, wow, I mean, yeah, obviously, I mean, I've been through all the other things, right? But I think the thing that stresses me out, even till today, I mean, not today, but is work. Work really stresses me out, as in really stresses me out. Stresses me out to the point where I'm having well, I wouldn't say heart palpitations, but it really makes my blood boil. That kind of stress, no. Yeah, but nothing else.
What about
That's interesting.
outstanding personal achievement?
Oh.
That's at number 25 with 28 points. What does that mean?
Interesting, right? What do you think it means?
Oh, I know what it means.
That you're stressed out by your achievements?
Yeah, because you have to
you have to
maintain it.
keep that.
You have
right.
to live up to that reputation that you've
Constantly.
developed.
You have to,
And a
to
lot
maintain it.
of these students that I see, surprisingly, the A-star students that are very stressed because they put that pressure on themselves to maintain that grade. And they cannot fall beneath that because anything less is not perfect.
Yeah.
So
Once you
that's
set
what
the
Glenn
bar.
stresses.
Yeah,
Glenn,
but
your stress is-
that's exactly what it is, because it's the
overachieving.
same thing for adults. Where we are today, we can't slip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just need to, you just need to. I guess I'm competitive in that sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if let's say the people around me are not competitive, then I'm thinking to myself, what's the point? If you're not competing to be a champion, to be number one, then what's the point? Right?
And obviously yours is the outstanding personal achievement because you have achieved so much in your career and you want to keep that reputation up, but you also need your support group or the people around you
Yeah.
to be able to lift you up as well
Yeah.
with the
It's-
competition, right?
It's like a Manchester United, right?
It is Ronaldo.
It's like when you're not winning, right? You just you're just really unhappy because you just want to win all the time.
Or if you're not on a winning team, it's very upsetting because you can do so well, but you're only as good as the people around you.
Yeah. Like Ronaldo left Juventus because they were not competitive and he was bored, and because he just wants to win, right? So is that an issue, Jerry? I mean, do people come up to you because they feel that need to be competitive and to be top of the class all the time?
20 seconds.
Yep.
Let me ask you that question on air.
Okay, let's go on
Angel
air.
can ask her that question about the competition.
She's very intent on trying to meet the survey.
I know, that's why I got my glasses on.
Okay.
All right, stand by. Here we go, back on air.
Three, we have with us Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room this morning, who has given us a list of things that may or may not stress us out.
Yeah, and we're looking at the Holmes Ray Life Stress Inventory, if I'm reading that correctly.
Yep.
And
you
it's
are.
a list of 43 life events. And they've been sort of positioned with the most stressful life event right at the top, which is death of a spouse, and the least stressful on this list, minor violations like of the law, like driving tickets, jaywalking, and etc. But what's interesting is that I found standing at number 25 is outstanding personal achievements, stressful at 28 points. What exactly does that mean, Dr. Jerry? Like, why are people stressing out about personal achievements?
So the outstanding personal achievements, right? So like what Glenn shared just now, he feels that pressure to be on top. So many of the students, so I'll talk about the students because they come in and they want to maintain their A-star status and they feel very stuck. So one of the boys that I've seen, and this is a happy story because I saw him when he was in Sec 4, completely broken. He was student leader. He was top of his game. He was, in the best prestigious CCA in one of the elite school, bagging the A's, not only the A's, but bagging the A stars, right? And A pluses or A stars. And he just felt so broken because and the depression just robbed him of any ability to function. So he'll come inside my room completely wiped out. And he say, why do I want to do all these? But if he does it, he has to be top of his game again. So it's either I do or I completely not do. And, he was broken. So we said, okay, what can you do? And mind you, while he was having his depression, he was still bagging his A's.
Wow.
And when he just got his A's, he says, it's not good enough. I need to get that A star.
Wow.
The amount of pressure that was placed on him. At the end of the day, I say, you know what, can we not focus on getting any of the A's? And he goes like, I can't, Auntie Jerry, I can't really. But we pulled through.
Jerry, it's interesting. You said the amount of pressure that's put on him. Is it the amount of pressure put on him or the amount of pressure he put on himself?
The amount of pressure he put on himself and the perceived pressure that he thinks he needs to live up to.
So it's just the way he's
In the
built,
school.
actually. It may not be something that was nurtured. He's just like that.
Well, I guess it's also where he is, looking at the siblings, looking at the parents, how accomplished they are. So that environment where he kind of feels that he needs to live up to it, but nobody told him. In fact, parents say, do whatever you want, do whatever you can.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We are speaking to Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room. Up next, the human lead. Julian, you're early today.
Good morning. He wanted
No.
to join in, right?
Yeah, he did want to join in on this.
Sean, can you
Yes,
send him the
Okay.
survey? Then he knows
We will
what
send
we're
you the
talking
survey
about.
as well.
When you
It's
didn't
interesting.
when you didn't check in at 8 a.m., I thought you're not going to join us early today.
No, I had to prep my daughter for school.
Oh, I see. I see.
yeah, I was like, oh, wear
Fatherly
your shoes and
duties
stuff.
always calls. It's okay.
It's very interesting, Jerry. You sent us this list, right? And I was going through the list, and immediately 4 items popped out at me.
Oh, what? Oh my gosh.
It's on your phone, Julian.
4 items popped
No,
out,
I watched it.
and I've actually experienced or am experiencing the stress connected to 4 items on this list.
Okay.
Let me try and guess.
There is scores,
Wait.
yeah. There are scores there.
Yeah.
So 150 points or less is a relatively low amount of stress change and a low susceptibility to stress-induced health breakdown.
Okay.
150 to 300 points, 50% chance of health breakdown in the next 2 years.
Oh.
300 points or more, 80% chance of health breakdown in the next 2 years, according to their prediction model. So it's not from me, it's from this survey. Again, let me reiterate, the survey is an old survey. It doesn't mean that it is applicable to everyone. And every culture. Remember that this is from America. So, it may or may not be applicable to the Asian context, but it is a guide for you to see how many that you tick off and whether you are in danger zone or not.
But is this
I've got
based on-
zero.
ba-
I've got zero.
Okay, there you go. So this
I'm
answers
zero.
my question. I was about to ask you, so is this based on the current situation that we are in? Current
No.
situation.
Oh, no. So surveys are never current. Surveys have to be formulated and, they need to go through sample population and
Right.
normed and to get that.
No,
You've got-
as in
How
our
much?
current situation.
Now what you feel right now.
Yes.
What we are
At this
feeling
point
right
in
now.
time, at this point
Yes.
in
Right.
time,
Yes,
what
yes.
are you
I am-
dealing with? I'm so sorry. Yeah.
I'm currently sitting on 152.
What?
Oh no!
Really?
I'm sitting on 152 based on this survey.
Okay,
So you
let's not
have
guess. Let's not guess.
50% chance of a major health breakdown
Okay,
in the
so
next 2
FD,
years.
you tell us if you don't mind, why don't you tell us?
Why don't you share?
Yeah.
Okay, I can tell you the ones that I relate to immediately, right?
Okay.
Okay.
And this is not in any order. A major change in the number of family get-togethers
Yes, okay.
is stressing the living shit out of me.
Oh,
Excuse
dear.
my language.
Because you can't meet up with
Because I can't
your
meet up with my
friend.
girls as much as I want to.
Oh, okay, with your
Yeah.
girls as well.
As much as it's been over 2 years, I am still dealing with my kids leaving home.
Empty nest.
Empty nest, right?
Okay.
The other thing that jumped right out at me is retirement from work. We have spoken about this before. Retirement from work has jumped out at me, and I'm still dealing with the passing of my brother because of the decision I had to make when we were in hospital with him.
Right.
Yep.
Wow.
So those are the ones that are my brother. I think is a situation that will be with me for a long time because when you have to make the decision of pulling the plug or not, then you live with that the rest of your life.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing, FD.
Yeah.
But it's 152.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Dr. Jerry, what can he do to lower that score? Is there anything that people can do to kind of rank lower on this list?
Band 8 thing. Can I ask FD, where do you feel the stress in your body? And maybe all of us can check in, because that's another thing that I usually love to do in my sessions.
I can tell you exactly where I feel the stress.
Can I
Where?
guess? I want to guess.
Yeah.
Your
Go
heart.
ahead.
Your heart.
No.
The lower back.
No.
Not that.
It's my shoulders. They are heavy
Heavy.
all the time.
And physically as well, right? I mean, you
Yeah.
feel that as well, yeah.
no, but
And this is why I tend to think I hunch so much. Because my shoulders are continuously heavy.
well, why is he
Because
feeling
people-
it? Why is he?
Because
feeling it in
that's
his-
where I'm carrying my weight. Am I right, Jerry?
No, but it could also be because you're growing older, so you're aching.
No.
No,
but
I mean, if you notice
There's a weight
people
on
who
my
are-
shoulders,
if
man.
you notice
Yes.
people who are sadder, that's why cartoons also show it. Sadder or angrier people are always slouched
You-
over and
you
down.
slouch.
No, but-
Happy, you're up and upright and chin
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, but
it's a physical thing.
But surely you feel it in the heart as well. What
You do. You feel the sadness. But
Yeah.
what I
Not an
feel
ache.
on my shoulders, right? Okay. When you take your 10-pound weights and you do overhead pushes like that,
Yes.
you feel that weight.
Yeah.
I have a weight on my shoulders all the time.
Constant.
I mean,
Constantly.
that's just a figure of speech. I mean, people.
No,
people
I have
say
a
that
weight.
all the time.
I
feel
have
it's
a
true.
weight.
No, I
No,
think
it's not a
it's-
figure of
I think
speech.
it's
I have
physical
a
as
weight
well.
on my
Let's go
shoulders.
to the other people, like the rest of us, right? Where do we hold our stress? So, Julian, where do you hold your stress? Where do you think you in your body? Where do you hold it?
It's mostly on my lower back, really. I feel it a lot on my lower back. So when I go to the gym, I try and pick up the weaknesses within my body and try and strengthen those areas. I have to be honest, I look horrible when I train my lower back because I see younger women carrying much heavier weights than I do. I feel horrible about that. My stress level, however, it's currently just 16.
Okay.
I think it's because I know, but I think it's also because I haven't faced that stress that FD is facing. My kids aren't leaving school, aren't leaving home yet. They're not getting married yet. I'm still quite cordial with my in-laws and everything's fine. I mean, I don't argue much with my wife. I mean, even if I do, I just can't close one eye and just, whatever. I just try and take it very easy. I do get stressed from time to time about my work, mostly work. But I just try and that is really why I go to the gym every morning at 5 in the morning. I'm at the gym at 5. I really just clear my mind. It's either I run or I just start carrying my weights, and then I just try and better myself every time I'm at the gym, just so that I can vent all my frustration there. I'm not too sure if that's the right way of doing it, but that's currently probably the avenue that I have.
Okay, we go back on air and then we can.
So what
carry
was your
on.
score again?
16.
It's 16.
Oh, 16.
No, he's
FD
really
standby
good.
1 traffic in 3.
Good morning, Singapore. It is Glenn, Angel, FD, Shaun, Jerry, and Julian. That's why we are the big show. Julian has checked in a little earlier with us today because he needs counseling from Dr. Jerry as well,
Yeah.
just like the rest of us do. And today we are taking stock of where we are in our lives in terms of stress.
Yes. And where we hold it in our bodies.
Yeah.
So, Angel, where do you hold it in your body?
I know earlier I said that I was probably a 0 on this list, but if looking at it carefully, I think I'm maybe a 15 in terms of major change in the number of family gatherings, because my family used to get together a lot and big gatherings as well, especially on special occasions. But I'm not stressed in the fact about that it's hurting me anywhere. But when I do stress out, I feel it in my heart.
Right. There you go.
Yeah, physically, like I get my heart rate goes up.
Same. I'm with
So-
Angel, which is why I couldn't understand, FD, because he's so stressed out, but he feels everything on his shoulders.
But his is a constant one.
But then you see the death of his brother, just like I am feeling it more now than ever because I lost my dad at the start of the year, right?
Yeah.
And life doesn't prepare you for things like that.
No, it doesn't.
Before that, I could never understand, when someone says, oh yeah, this person's parent died or a friend died and all that. You don't feel that, but when it happens to you, oh my God! So as a result of that, right? I've scored an 86. It's because of death of a of a loved one. Because my dad's death, hit me really hard. And as much as sometimes I try not to think of it, right? It does come back, because it was unusual. He was abroad. I didn't even get to see him.
No closure
because of this COVID situation and everything. So yeah, so that kind of like raised my score, I guess. And I can completely understand FD. And most of the time, we don't want to talk about it. So and this applies to everyone else who has lost someone close, right? We just feel like it's none of people are not going to care. They're just going to go like, oh, okay, deepest condolences and all that. But they've not met our family members, and so it's just the polite thing to do, right?
Yeah.
So we don't talk about it very much. So yeah.
And Shaun?
Hard for me because none of the stuff on the list I really go through. So I don't know where I want to, mark.
It's okay. I think you're at a stage of
you
your
don't
life
have
where
to-
where
You
perhaps
don't have to
maybe you're not so
follow
stressed
the,
out. Yeah.
The survey.
Yeah.
You don't have to follow the list. But if you are stressed, and we can be stressed with anything, right?
Yes.
It doesn't have to be on the list because it's only 43 items. There's more things to life than 43 items.
Yeah.
So yeah, where do you hold your stress?
In my bum.
physical.
In his bum, because he's sitting on his bike all the time.
So
That's-
And my
cute.
bum is very big, and I feel I literally feel knots in my bum. Really?
You feel knots in your bum when you're stressed?
Yeah. So I
Well,
get, like,
it's not wrong. It's not wrong. Thank you, Shaun, for sharing. A lot of people don't realize that. And maybe Julian can also check in with yourself if you actually hold it there too. Because there was once one of the ladies came and she was like, we tried all the progressive muscle relaxation and everything, but she goes, yeah, but my thighs are aching. So I was just sitting there as we were having the session, and I realized she was squeezing her butt and hovering on my chair.
I see.
And I had to pay attention because her breathing rate was fine. She was speaking, at a very consistent pace. I mean, a little bit faster, but not too fast. And everything else seems okay. So I really had to focus on her to realize that she was squeezing her butt and hovering on the chair while she was seated.
wow.
Okay.
And yeah,
That,
and when
that could be what her physical trainer asked her to do, right?
Tighten
It's like tighten your core muscles, your
glutes.
Okay, not
No,
the-
no.
the-
So
the
when
abs,
she
no.
no, so when she actually released that, she could feel the lactic acid. I mean, it was shocking for her. She said, "I didn't realize that."
Right. Does she have a tight bum bum?
Well,
Okay, it's time for us to play a song right now. We'll continue this conversation on the Big Show TV. In the meantime, here's
Jerry, I'm looking at this list, right? And I scored 152, and everybody went, "Oh, wow!" Because what? I'm supposed to have a major problem in the next 2 years or something. No,
yeah.
I think it's lists like this that open our eyes and force us to look at what is stressing us out.
Yep.
Because many is the time we get stressed and we go, oh yeah, it could be this, it could be that, it could be this. The only thing I'm really sure of is the fact that I can't get to see my kids and my brother passed away. It's not the other stuff I don't think about. But now with the list, there is a formulation there that this is what are the major problems that are jumping out at me. Now, what do I have to do about it?
Yeah.
So these lists actually do help.
It's a guide. It's
a guide.
It's a guide, but that's why you realize that although it's a guide, it doesn't apply to everyone. Which is why therapy is so important, because it individualizes, what your stressors are.
But
What happens if someone uses the guide over seriously? You know what I mean? And then sees those points and then says, oh my goodness, I'm going to get a heart attack in the next two years. You know what I mean? Because they're saying, oh no, this is stressing me out. And then they add all the points up and they're like, that's it. I'm done.
Whilst it is possible, so it's not administered. So I'm not kind of sharing it with everyone and anyone, because if it's not with a professional and you're doing it on your own, you might have a tendency to overthink if you're already anxious.
Okay.
So I would not recommend you just to do it and sit with it. If you're going to do it, talk to somebody about it.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't forward this list to anyone then.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah, definitely not.
I think
I agree with that.
I think it's
I would
okay.
not forward this.
No, I would not forward it.
No, I think it's fine as long as you know what are the trigger points. Like for example, FD. He's got all those things that you just mentioned. Okay, there are some things that he can't change, but there are definitely things that he can, right?
Yes.
In terms of like his thinking, like stressing himself out about retirement, right?
Yeah.
I mean, why are you so stressed out about it?
We already went through that.
Yeah, we went through this.
Yeah, I know.
We went through this.
It's inevitable.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, at some point we all have to retire, right? And that may not necessarily be a bad thing, right? It's not like you're gonna have to go to the hawker center and clean tables or
That is
whatever.
true.
There's so
No.
many people out there who have to stress out because that is what they might end up doing.
Julian,
that's
you want
not
to say something?
Yeah, FD. My dad retired what, 36, almost, he retired about 10, 11 years ago. On that year, that very month when he retired, my brother called me, and I was still in Brisbane having a wild, fantastic life there.
Yeah.
And then he said,
You need to tell us more about this wild, fantastic life.
This is why you scored 15 on the
Exactly. And then he said, you know what, I think you should come home as soon as you can because father is just really stressed out. He just retired and he's just walking around the house looking really, really lost. When I came back, I had a few house parties with some friends. I just want to cheer him up, you know what I mean? And about a couple of months passed, and I looked at him and I said, how you doing? I mean, you're just playing with the guitar all day, just watching TV. Are you going to exercise? Are you going to have something else and stuff? And he said, no, you know what? I'm just really going to take it easy. I'm going to the coffee shop across the block, and I'm going to have beer with my fellow retiree friends, and I'm going to play golf tomorrow with some other friends of mine, and then I'm just going to relax. If I'm at home, I'll do what I want to do because I deserve to do that. And a couple of years passed, and then my cousin asked him, how do you feel about retirement? And his first reaction was, it's the best thing that ever happened to me.
Wow.
So he wasn't keen on the idea at first, but he warmed up to it once he was experiencing what that rest was doing to his body.
He was so lost for so long. It almost felt endless. It was for months. And I just looked at him and said, how you doing? I mean, you've been walking around the house, strumming your guitar for 15 minutes, and then you walk around again, and you come back and you strum another half an hour. I said, why don't you just go for a walk or jog? And why don't you just go exercise? Keep your mind off things, So he used alcohol. He went across the road and then he'll have scotch every once in a while.
It's a change of that routine that scares people, right? Coming out their comfort zone, what they're going to do with themselves.
I think it's not so much the change of the routine; it's the fear of the unknown.
Maybe
Because retirement is an unknown.
But you can make it unknown, right? I mean, you can plan
could.
for the things that you can do, right?
This guy is always like that. He's always fearing the unknown. It took him like years before he tried Thai green curry.
That is true.
Because,
That's true.
He feared
He was
the
like,
unknown.
green, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what Julian said, nicely segue into coping strategies, right?
Yeah, it does.
So the first thing is, I've got 3 things on my list. Just 3 things if we can try. One is break it. Break, do, and laugh. So break whatever that you're afraid of or whatever that is stressing you into tiny, tiny, tiny pieces. Then you start to do. You start to do things. You start to take action because they're now broken into tiny pieces. So like what Julian's father did, if I want to, run, I run. If I want to play the guitar, I play a guitar. If I want to take a drink, I take a drink. I want to meet with my friends, I meet with my friends. So literally breaking up the time or breaking up the activities. And even for any sort of stresses, break it into tiny, tiny, tiny pieces and do it.
Yeah.
And the last one is to have a little bit of humor, because it slices through everything. And that's where I want to share a little story, because one of the Saturdays I was very stressed, and husband being husband is, very curtly and rudely asked about whether I was going to do my eyelashes.
Oh. Wow.
And I was like, okay, I didn't answer because I was a bit like, stressed out and not wanting to answer. He sent my son to send the same message. Both on text, yeah? So I retorted in the text, like, speak properly. Don't talk like your father.
Wow.
Yep. So that was really like, what is this? That's the last thing I need at the end of the day, This is what my son did. Does Thai need to update her eyelashes on this very fine day?
Does die need to so that
I burst out laughing.
Oh my god, so cute.
Yeah, and then so I answered him. I said my eye curtains have settled and will be there for a week or more, which means that I don't need. Yeah.
Right.
Then he says, I shall inform father of this matter immediately.
Oh, so cute.
I said, okay, thank you, so thank you for classifying it as an urgent matter, and everything else. I played along with him, yeah. And I said, yes. So the classification of this matter of urgency is delightful and is taken, and is of comfort that the matter is taken with seriousness. So I replied him, and then he replied me, "I shall receive the compliment with honor."
Oh.
Oh my.
How old is your boy?
13.
Oh, nice.
So he put a smile on your face, like, at least.
I was like, okay, my day it just got brighter just at that
So cute.
moment. Yeah, I was
30
so
seconds.
kids, I was so upset, right? And then when he switched the tone and he switched that, it was hilarious. It was
Hilarious.
What if your husband did
It's
that?
hilarious.
sorry.
What if your husband did that and spoke to you in that fashion?
She'll get angry and I scold him again.
I don't know. I don't think he's not a very literary person.
Okay, stand by. I have the
Okay,
Omo
going
traffic.
back on air, and then we'll wrap up. Okay, Jerry.
Yes.
Good morning, Singapore. You're tuned into The Big Show and The Big Show TV. We've been talking about, stress. Not so much suicide today, which is, quite nice. Because sometimes when we talk about suicide, it can be really, really heavy.
Yeah.
But today, it's almost like all of us were in session with you.
Oh, yes.
Jerry.
Group therapy.
It felt like a group session. Yes,
It did. So for those of you just tuning in, the least stressed is our Angel and Julian and Shaun, and the most stressed, FD and myself. Surprise.
Maybe it
Surprise,
comes
surprise.
with age.
I
that's
think
why.
so, yes. No, absolutely, Julian. Right,
Yeah.
Jerry, actually, it's true one. Because
Is that true, Jerry?
No,
No, right?
our young people also have a lot of stress. And in
okay.
fact, I've always said that our teens have a lot of stress. If you go down that line, down that list, moving house, changing school, ending formal school, starting formal school, loss of a family member because grandparents at that age that they would pass away, having to deal with major changes in the home environment, parents switching jobs and everything. The children also feel. So if you go down that list, they actually have a lot more than we think they do.
Actually, when we were younger,
True.
we all went through all that, which means I think we were more resilient than the kids today.
We went through the baptism of fire.
Well, let me ask you a question, Jerry. Based on that list and based on the way I feel, is there a greater chance of a conservative person being more stressed in today's society?
Conservative in what sense?
I am more. I don't know. I'm not. I'm financially conservative. My investments are conservative. The way I live my life is conservative. Would I be a person who would probably get stressed out more?
Well, not really. I think everybody has a equal amount of stress because we all go through life changes and have life events. But how we approach it is very important. You're absolutely right.
Jerry, I think FD needs to see you. Or maybe one of your friends. He sounds like he needs therapy.
Okay, let me end with this. This
Okay.
is another Jerry's original, okay? So earlier we mentioned about the unknown. So stress is most of the time caused by unknowns, uncertainty, things that are unchanged, things that are unwanted in our lives, and what we perceive as unattainable. So if we take away N, then things become known, things become certain, things that we want to change it, things that are unwanted, get rid of it. And when we do what we said, right, break it down, it becomes attainable, and we do it with a little bit of humor.
Love it. Positivity
Nice.
always.
Well done, Jerry.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jerry.
No worries. Thanks, Julian, for coming on early.
Anytime. I've learned a lot just from this list, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I now have to prepare myself for the future because I foresee myself becoming like FD. When my kids have to leave home, I can't talk to them, can't see them. I think I will feel it.
I gotta tell you, I mean, having my kids getting married and all that was one of the most beautiful things in my life. But letting go, damn, I hated it.
So sometimes better to not have kids. Anyway, bye, Jerry.
Get out of here.
See ya.
Bye.
See you next week, Jerry.
Ciao.
See you next week.